Greetings, children! Come to the dark side.
Oh wait, how did that suddenly get in there?
Come to the dark side?
Yeah, I don't know, for some reason it made me think of Vader.
Vader.
Not Big Van Vader.
Oh? He is my preferred Vader.
He's your preferred Vader to
Yeah,
Darth
man,
Vader?
anyone who's that big that can do a moonsault is
Yes.
cool with me.
People, call in, get on the chat room, get on the Facebooks, tell us, who is your favourite Vader? Darth Vader or Big Van Vader?
It's time!
It's
time!
It's Vader time!
Time!
Oh shit. She was hectic, son. She was hectic.
Just point to yourself and say, who's the man? That works.
Yeah.
That's such a Vader thing to do.
It is.
It's much better than the Force choke.
The what?
The Force
choke.
Yeah.
What about Force Lightning? Like, could Darth
I don't remember Darth Vader ever using Force
Yeah, he could-
Lightning.
Yeah,
It was
he could
more of a fucking Palpatine thing to do.
I mean, it's kind of cool, the Force choke. Couldn't
Yeah.
he choke people, like, through an intercom?
Yeah, you could Force choke people, we just couldn't chuck lightning.
But, I mean, if you can choke someone, like, through a phone call...
Yeah, alright, that's freaking cool.
Like, because sometimes I'm on phone calls where I would really enjoy choking the other person
Yeah, me too.
on the other side.
Yeah. And that's normally when you're on the phone to friends of yours.
Yeah. I'm not just talking about telemarketers.
I like telemarketers. I
fucks
talk
with
to
them.
them for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
true,
not
I
buying
try to
any
keep
of your
on the
shit.
line for, like, ages and
Just be like,
go,
I ain't buying any of your
yeah,
shit.
I'm buying. I just want to
I once
chat.
asked one
I'm
for
lonely.
money. I asked one to lend me money.
I've been tempted to do this because they call me on my mobile, so I see their number. I've been tempted to call them on a regular basis, trying to sell them albums. I reckon
would
it
work
could work
perfectly.
This could seriously, it could be like a new thing. I'm gonna try and attempt to find some background music to just put in the background.
Your background music.
That'll do.
Oh, awesome. Is that the Lunatic Pandora thing?
Sort of close, something like that.
Yeah. It's
Ascension
sort
of Witches.
Ah, yeah, that's when they're up in the fucking... we're near the moon,
Yeah,
and Manoa goes crazy.
yeah. My little remix of it, but
It's
yeah.
quite good.
Shouts to Squaresoft, Nobuo Uematsu.
Well, used to be Squaresoft.
Oh, Square Enix.
Square Enix now.
Yeah.
And Nobu, who no longer actually...
Yeah, no longer works there.
Yeah, he's a freelancer. It's kind of cool. Which means he can do, like, the music for, like, Nintendo games if he needs to.
Cool.
He actually did the music for the last Smash Bros.
The last Smash Brothers, eh?
Yes,
Cool.
it's pretty brilliant.
I dig it. I dig. I have not played a lot of the Smash Brothers.
Ooh, I'm very
What's that?
excited about the new one to come out.
You would be.
At December. It's coming out pretty soon. On the Wii U.
On the Wii.
I'm one of the 4 people who have a Wii U in Australia.
So do you band together with the other 3 and
we
play Wii
need
U
to
games?
we need to form a club.
You do, I think you do.
It's called the Wii U Club.
Yeah.
It's just me and 3 other nerds.
Yeah.
Not a lot of chicks in that club. Let's be
No.
honest.
I wouldn't
Although I
imagine
still
that.
think probably more chicks than maybe the PC gamers. Despite being quite large.
Yeah. Oh,
No, I mean like proper PC gamers, not like, like Peggle and shit like
guys, the people that will like fuck your mothers and kill everything you hold dear when they lose in
that. Oh,
COD.
Xbox Live people.
Oh wait, sorry, yeah, that's Xbox Live.
Yeah. They're basically 13-year-old kids who like to call you nigger and Jew.
True. PC gamers are more just trolls.
Well, it's pretty fun. It's pretty awesome when you get
Hey,
insulted.
how about I make like 20 different aliases so that I can just fuck with everyone and no one knows what's going on and I'll have a good old laugh. That's PC gamers.
It's pretty interesting when you get insulted on Xbox Live, and they throw out like 3 insults, and none of them are true.
Yeah.
You
and
faggot, new Jew, nigger.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and-
hang on, those don't go together, and I'm none of those things.
Yeah, and they're generally either like old racist rednecks or 13-year-olds that are just like,
You faggot. I kind of mixed both of them together there.
true. You kind of. It was a young racist.
Young
redneck.
racist redneck, yeah.
Well, they got-
from
they gotta
America,
start somewhere.
apparently. Yeah, well, it starts at home, people. Starts at home.
It sure does. It sure does. But so which do you prefer, PC gaming or console gaming?
Consoles.
You prefer console?
Yes,
Why
and
is this?
that's not knock at PC games. It's more along the lines of I can't be fucked buying a new graphics card every 2 years. But I can be fucked buying a new console every 5 years. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
You mean buy every new console that comes out every 5 years, like each generation?
Yeah,
like
I tend to do
getting. So what did you have last generation? You had
I had all
Wii,
three, yeah.
A PlayStation 3 and a 360?
Yes.
This generation,
I have
so
a
far
Wii
you
U and a
have-
PS4.
yeah, Wii U,
I will be getting
PS4.
an Xbox One maybe early next year. So yeah.
So, I mean, because that's much more cost effective doing it that way.
Quiet you. I can't defend myself. Only to say you can't get Nintendo games on PC, so I think that's kind of
True.
half.
I
the
mean,
reason.
yeah, on the other side, I
My
suppose
inner
there
child still wants Nintendo
are a
games.
great deal of games that aren't on PC, but I suppose there's also a lot of games that aren't on console that are on PC.
See, I'm not a big RTS fan, so maybe
Yeah, well,
that's why.
it also does depend what kind of games you're into. I mean, I'm a big RPG fan, and there
Yes.
isn't a lot for me on PC. There's more
Especially
these days than there
JRPG.
was.
There's not much JRPG.
There's definitely a whole lot more these days, because, I mean, like, Square Enix supported Steam, so they're putting out pretty much any game.
Which is
on
awesome,
that.
man. Like, the fact that you can buy, like, a remastered Final Fantasy 7 and 8... It's not as remastered as you want it to be.
Well,
but
it's not. Yeah, it's not. But however,
it's still pretty cool.
however, I think I spoke to you about this. That I have been recently replaying Final Fantasy VIII, the remaster version. Which the remaster version I had was still not remastered enough for me. However, I came upon a number of mods which make that remastering even better. Basically, it just kind of updates all the graphics and makes them a bit higher resolution.
Which is really hard, because I actually recently tried
Oh yeah,
to
it wasn't.
replay it.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Like,
to
it's
do.
so damn blurry on an
Oh,
HD TV.
Well, see, that's the other thing. Like, we used to play that shit on normal CRT TVs.
I can't find the CRT
The other thing
TV
is,
anymore.
They were the pixels. And drop some knowledge on you for a moment if you don't already know.
No, they're just being
old,
dropped.
CRT or cathode ray tube TVs.
Oh, I have
the
to
big
pick up that
motherfuckers.
knowledge. It's on the floor.
Those big, giant motherfuckers with not flat screens. Flat
You know-
screens where you have like fucking
TVs that got
fingers.
back.
Yeah, they got back.
They got back.
They got back.
I like big TVs.
Cathode ray
that don't lie.
TVs. The pixels on those were all interleaved.
Yes.
So basically, the pixels overlapped each
Yep.
other on those old TVs, which in a sense made stuff that was pixelated, like graphically, actually kind of look better.
Yeah, look way better.
You play those same things on like a computer
looks
monitor or
terrible.
today's, it looks horrible because
Yeah.
you see all
Blurry,
that pixelation.
just- yeah.
It was basically sort of TVs had kind of an inbuilt anti-aliasing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
noticed that. Like, even like at PAX, when I was playing like Mario 3 and shit like that, where I'd look like the consoles were all set up on those big ass.
Yeah, even
TVs.
like they were near us when we were waiting to play DOA 5, the Halo machine.
Yes.
And just looking at how horrible the old
Yeah.
Halo looks.
Yeah, and then you put it on
Oh.
like they actually put it on a big screen.
And
Old
like, that's not
cathode
even
ray.
that long ago.
Yeah, it was like an old CRT that they did put it on, and it looked massively better, despite the TV being shithouse, basically.
True.
Yeah. Well, not shithouse.
Yeah.
Top of the line back then, anyway.
Indeed. And yeah, it's funny that. But yeah, that is a lot of the reason why, even with a sort of remaster version, it still don't look that great.
You can't do much about it.
But yeah.
Unless they actually redo the assets.
I looked into yeah, well, people have. Square Enix didn't. People did.
Of course people
They
did.
redid all the. Probably the weakest link of it is the background.
Yeah, because that's
They
hard.
redid all the backgrounds, and that's fucking hard to do.
Yeah, like-
and there are some glitches.
Yeah, of course.
But they did what they could. It still looks.
I'm guessing the
Decent
sprites
without-
look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhat.
Well, compared to what
Yeah.
they did look.
Oh, definitely compared to what they did. Although
Yeah, with-
sometimes also there's glitches there where sprites seemingly revert to their old. Like at one point, I'm
yeah.
talking to Headmaster Sid in the garden, and just during the course of the conversation, he went back to the old version and was just like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened to Sid?
Sid is turning into something.
I guess he just went into the witness protection program.
Well, yeah, it's kind of interesting the way people that's one thing you got to love about PC gamers. They're so damn dedicated.
If they love a game, they will fix the mistakes and glitches that developers themselves kind of can't be fucked doing.
That's basically the reason I've always said fuck Apple and the horse it rode in on. Because
they don't allow that shit.
You can never... If there's a fucking problem with any Apple computer you have, you might as well just throw the motherfucker out.
To our customer service.
Just throw the motherfucker out. Don't even bother. Go buy another $1,000 machine that's not worth $200, really.
The only thing that, I guess, the offset with Apple is that they offer decent warranties on things, so they will, like, replace your shit if it breaks, but... If you want to kind of fix something that's inherently wrong with the thing...
You're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had an iPhone, the old 3s. That is the first and last Apple product I'll buy.
I see.
I couldn't even change the ringtone on the motherfucker.
Fun.
To what I wanted to. It's just... It does not make sense. Whereas I've got a nice Samsung Android fucking phone, and I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. I don't even have to pay for apps, really. I do, but I don't need to.
I have, well, you probably know, Humble Bundle, we've raved about it for a while.
Yes, how cool are the games on Humble Bundle?
Some of the games I got for my phone.
The Android ones,
cool. I got these 3 recently, the Blackwell Legacy. They're point-and-click adventures.
Yeah. They're brilliant.
Takes you back to, like, Monkey Island and all that kind of shit. Oh, well, we already spoke about that.
We spoke about PAX, but we did not say that we actually...
Island, the guy... I think
we heard the Monkey Island creator, Ron Gilbert.
I believe we spoke about the fact that he was there and commanded a great deal of respect.
It's hilarious, just like everyone was like, fuck this guy talking, fuck this other guy talking. Is that the dude from Ronnie Jones Half Hour? Yeah, it is. Oh, shit. Fuck him anyway. Okay. Oh, shit, Ron Gilbert's talking. Let's shut the fuck up. This guy made Monkey Island. Just stunned silence.
True.
No matter what he said.
Yeah.
He could have said titty sprinkles.
Titty sprinkles. And also, I think we mentioned this as well, or at least I mentioned it to you, I think during the course of that panel, the game Thomas Was Alone.
That's a brilliant game.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Is the narrator, Stephen Merchant?
Could be. He sounded familiar.
But
if you have an Android phone and you play games on it and you like interesting, quirky games,
Thomas Was Alone
that kind of break the fourth wall a fair bit.
Yeah.
Get a game called Thomas Was Alone. It's well worth it.
It's completely weird and kind of quirky, which is probably why we like it so much. But if you like old school platformers, or like those...
I mean, admittedly, I haven't played a lot of it, but just the talk
it's
is
sort
just
of a
like...
puzzle platform,
Thomas believed that this was somehow testing him, and he learned how to... Wait, what is this? This vertical fall. I'll call it a jump.
It's pretty cool. I gotta say, I enjoyed. I've played like a fair bit of it. I liked it. Yeah. I've got it on PS Vita at the moment. Got it free with like PS Plus. So actually a really good deal. Gotta admit, like I'm not someone who shills that much, but PS Plus is a way better deal than any other service. Other than maybe Steam, I guess.
For some reason, I'm still on Xbox Live Gold. Despite the fact that I barely used it.
I don't
in the
play
past
online
year.
on Gold anymore.
Well,
it's not worth it.
I think I'm still signed up for the free games I'm getting, essentially, and also for the thing in the back of my head.
You get 2 free games a month.
Also for the thing in the back of my head that one day I am actually going to finish Mass Effect 3, and part of getting 100% completion is doing a bit of the multiplayer.
Is that not my copy of Mass Effect 3?
I have 2 copies of it. I think I can give you your copy back.
Well, that would be a good idea.
Because I now have 2 copies of it.
There you go. That's just inner politics.
Yeah. Don't worry about that shit.
Politicking.
What's going on, Funky Jen? Cheers for joining the chat. What up? Oh, Davis was in there, but he seems to have fallen asleep.
Well. You can't blame him.
He does that.
You can't blame
He
anyone
does
for falling
enjoy
asleep.
his sleep, that fellow.
Everyone enjoys sleeping.
So do I.
Actually, I'm not sure if you do. You sleep when you do it. How do you
People
know you enjoy
disturb
it?
my sleep far too much.
Yeah, that's the problem
See,
with
like,
living.
I have this thing with sleeping, like, I only like to sleep when I feel like sleeping.
Okay.
But then when I get to sleep, I really don't like being woken up.
Well, I don't think anyone likes being woken up. Like, what was it?
Yeah, but I really don't like it.
Was it the Bukowski quote?
Cask?
He was saying, no one can enjoy waking up at 6 a.m, force feeding themselves breakfast, having a quick shower, then running down to spend 8 hours at a place where they make massive amounts of money for someone else. It's kind of life, really.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really say I do that because I wake up with about, often enough 20 minutes to get ready, often enough, I mean, have a shower if I really feel like it, if I have enough time.
If I feel like it.
No, more so if I have enough time, if I
Hygienic.
wake up early enough. I set my alarm for 8:30, but then generally don't wake up till about 9:15.
Well, there you go. That's a 45-minute snooze.
Yeah. I just can't help myself. It's like, snooze, till the bare minute's like, alright,
I've left myself otherwise I'm not going anywhere
I've left
today.
myself enough time to put on pants and get in the car.
Yeah, you need pants. I found this out very recently.
So yeah,
you need to have pants.
Yeah, I rarely have breakfast in the morning. And the people I work for do not make a lot of money.
Well, there you go.
It's kind of a struggling business.
Well, there you go. That sounds secure.
Yeah, it's a real secure position. But, and the funny thing about, and yet it's oddly probably the job I've probably enjoyed the most of all the sort of day jobs that I've done.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because, I mean, it's fairly relaxed most of the time.
I'd like to say I could relate, but I really can't.
Apart from, like, designing their website, which is driving me batshit crazy.
Driving you batshit crazy.
Further,
there you go.
further batshit crazy.
You're fairly crazy.
HTML, and now I'm going full nerd. HTML is
Never go
manageable. Is manageable for me. I can get my head around HTML pretty well. PHP, fuck PHP,
There you go. Fuck PHP. I don't know what it is, but fuck it.
and fuck MySQL. Fuck
SQL? What did MySQL do to you?
Oh, you have no idea what it did. It has no idea what I'm going to do to it. That's the real.
I'm guessing probably nothing. Because really, it's not much you can do to it.
Well, it depends how you look at it. I can manipulate it quite a bit.
Yeah, but I don't think it has feelings to know that.
Oh, it will. I will program into it feelings and make it feel pain.
There you go. If you can do
Because
that.
you can do that. I'll program in a command. PHP, SQL, database, feel pain.
Feel pain?
Feel pain.
Like
Tell me how you feel.
some canned responses of like, please sir, stop.
Yeah. I'll just give it all these
It
responses
burns.
to program,
It
like
burns.
what it can tell me when I tell it to feel pain.
Oh, there you go.
I might fucking do that. Once I've worked it out enough, I'm gonna put a command in there like, okay, database, feel pain. I need
there
some
you go.
fucking, I need some venting. I need to take my
I need to
aggression out.
vent. I need to vent, so you must feel pain.
Yes.
There you go. I like that idea.
Yes. I think that is the epitome of programming.
Well, most of
Making
the things
a computer feel pain.
Most of the things I
think
work with
that's-
actually kind of do feel pain, so I
Yeah.
better not.
I think that's what the Japanese are trying to do with their robotics, trying to make a robot that feels pain.
I'm partially scared of what the Japanese are trying to do with their robotics.
I mean,
Have you seen
maybe
some of
that's a bad thing.
their female doll things that they made?
I mean, what's that game with the rejected robot?
I don't think it ever was a game. It was just like a
Or
tech
just a-
demo
or
made
tech
by
demo.
Quantic Dream.
It was a hell of a tech demo.
Yeah, it looked really cool. Like, I was hoping that was going to end up being a game. But
Okay, I suppose I should describe what this tech demo we are talking about is basically there is this demo apparently by Quantic Dream. You know, Mr. Cage.
Yeah, David Cage.
Who Jim Sterling absolutely loves.
I like to make movies. Not video games. Video games are not quite what I make.
I like immersion.
The interactive experience.
But is he saying immersion or is he saying emotion?
I don't know. It could be immersion or emotion. They sound very similar with that accent.
I like immersion.
Yeah. So basically, what did they make? Enduring Prophecy.
Okay, Fahrenheit.
Heavy Rain.
Fahrenheit. Heavy Rain. And what's that new one?
The new one with Willem Dafoe.
And Two
Willem
Souls?
Dafoe? Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah. So, if you played any of those or even seen any of those, it's kind of...
So, admittedly, he does make some very interesting concepts, but maybe the motherfucker should just make movies.
Or animated movies would be interesting.
Maybe. But there was a tech demo involved with basically...
Kara, that was what it was
Kara,
called.
and basically this robot being created. A very, very humanoid robot.
Looked very humanoid. Didn't start out looking very humanoid.
Yeah, it didn't start out that way, but as they put, like, different features on it, it was Ghost in the Shell all over again. If you've seen Ghost in the Shell, really, this is nothing new to you. So, moral of the story is, go watch Ghost in the Shell. But anyway...
That's a moral of pretty much every story, to be honest.
Pretty much. Really, watch Ghost in the Shell. But yeah, basically this robot gets created, and as they're creating it, there's like a creator, etc., talking to it.
Yeah.
And basically, I can't remember what triggers it, but this robot starts feeling...
It was scared.
Yeah, it was scared of something.
Yeah.
And
like, you're not supposed to be scared.
You're not supposed to be scared.
Yeah.
And basically starts disassembling the robot and gets terrified.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, like, kind of, don't kill me.
Yeah.
Do we really want robots doing that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Do we really want that?
No. I also really don't want a robot bride. That's kind of freaking me out.
Robot bride?
That shit's happening, and it's going to come from Japan. We know it's going to come from Japan.
Man, it's just a matter of time.
Still trying to beat JP's record of best song on this show.
Beats JP's record. I still reckon I haven't been trumped with my impromptu Flash song.
He butchered Real American. It was perfect.
He did.
It was the perfect butchering of Real American.
I wonder what JP's up to tonight. He hasn't called me
yet.
I'm
scared.
Or asked me to call him for fireworks.
Fireworks. Good old fireworks. But yeah, back on the robot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen there. Like, it's starting to kind of freak me out a bit.
What would you like to have?
Okay.
What's the list? What would you like robots to do? How would you like robots to be limited? Let's get into Isaac Asimov right here. Somehow this show got serious.
Do no harm. What was it? The three rules? Do no harm to humans.
Do no harm to humans. Hold on. What?
We will look it up.
Just ramble while I look up Asimov's
We are looking
rules.
it up right now. Asimov, by the way, is an author who wrote a lot of books, basically, and which included iRobot. If anyone's watched the movie, it's sort of a good version of that.
Three
movie.
Laws of Robotics.
Yeah, 3 Laws of Robotics. There it is.
All right. Rule number 1 of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm.
Yes.
Now, we'll get into each one, I suppose. I'll say all 3. Number 2. A robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law.
There you go.
Law number 3. A robot must protect its own existence, as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
There you go. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in iRobot, which spoilers, how they
Yeah, because tonight is the spoiler show.
Yeah, spoiler show. It contravened those laws by saying, well, if there is no humans, there could not be any harm put on them.
True.
No harm done to them. So basically,
That's quite a
they
loophole.
It kind of tried to kill off all humans. I think was the way it was doing it.
Wouldn't that cause them harm?
Yeah, it was. It's been a while since I watched the movie and read the books.
Yeah,
because I watched the movie, then said, "This sounds like a really good concept. It must have been done better in a book form."
Yeah, I can't remember it that well either.
I like Will Smith, but that movie wasn't the best movie in the world.
Yeah,
it was still Hollywooded. Yeah, it wasn't quite.
I may have to download that movie and watch it again.
Yeah, rewatch it. It's a decent movie to watch.
Yeah,
just sort of the book's better.
Okay, so, let's, I guess, examine each of those laws. Number one, a robot may not injure a human being. Not endure.
That would really fuck up Japan's idea.
A robot may not injure a human being through an action allow a human being to come to harm. So, by that law, basically, if they see a human in peril, they must act in attempt to save.
Now, the question wouldn't that then make robots impossible to become soldiers?
Yes.
So they could never be soldiers,
unless they were fighting other robots.
Yeah, and it's your job to tend those robots.
But yeah. No, well, yeah, I guess
kill
that would be
other
the
robots.
only way if they were fighting other robots.
Yeah.
Because, law number 2, a robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. So, it will not obey a human to kill another human.
Oh, now I know how that movie ended. They didn't kill the humans. They basically put them in suspended animation.
Huh.
It was something along those lines. They were trying their best not to, basically so there was no humans at all.
Oh, because they probably felt that humans, it was too hard to keep them alive.
Yes, basically. So by keeping them alive, they kept them dumb and playable. So basically what governments do to us now. Yeah, we're going there, motherfuckers.
And last, and I suppose that goes with number 3 as well, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. And I guess in that movie, people were rebelling against the robots.
Yeah.
And so they were protecting their own existence while not harming the humans. By putting them in suspended animation.
It was kind of interesting the way they the only robot that kind of could save the human race was the robot that didn't have to obey those laws. It was interesting in the way that they done that.
Yeah.
It was it had free will, and free will was the only way to, Basically, it was sort of an allegory to human beings. If you basically obey laws willy-nilly and obey orders and do everything to do the least amount of harm, sometimes you do the most amount of harm.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's why we apparently have free will. Apparently. I'm not sure. I have read an article once about
we do not?
The fact that we may not actually have free will.
That it's all predestined?
It's predestined in our own mind. Our experience make up how we're going to act in any given situation.
Interesting.
So our genetics and our experience would eventually come up with the exact same answer no matter what we actually do. So we may feel like we're doing something, but you can actually, if it was possible to put every experience and every genetic predisposition we have, we can make one of ourselves. That would do exactly what we do in any given situation.
Fair enough.
So I'm not sure how true it is, and I'm not sure how much I agree with it, but it was an interesting article nevertheless. I forgot the author. I feel kind of shitty not being able to say the author. But yeah, it was a really interesting thing. If anyone can do it or whatever, it's actually a pretty cool idea.
Okay.
So we may not have free will. There you go.
I'll try to look that up one.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And then there's also that episode of South Park where Kyle goes on that down the rabbit hole, and
which one?
Doesn't he kind of recreate his own existence?
I love South Park.
Yeah. He becomes like a god because his mind becomes so aware of what it is, and
yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And then, I think there's also an episode of Futurama where Bender basically does the same thing.
Yeah. Futurama is great with, like, old school, like, sci-fi references.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If anyone, like watched a lot of old school movies or read a lot of old school sci-fi books,
yes.
Futurama is the best when it comes to that.
But, on that note of, I guess, predestiny and things of that nature...
We are predestined to play a song.
Yes, we are predestined to play a song right about now.
Your genetics made you make that decision.
Half an hour. But, coming back up to that, I think we'll sort of go on that topic, and because there's a few things I want to say about the afterlife, or life after death.
Promo.
Or things. What happens after you die? And we're also going to talk about the end of Lost.
Which I still don't know what it is.
Well, you're going to find out.
I'm going to find out.
Alright.
I'm excited.
So.
I've just cut several hours of viewing. It's awesome.
True, yeah. So, anyone who has not watched all of Lost, tune in now and find out what the fuck happened at the end. Well, maybe.
How exciting.
As best as I can summarize. But, meanwhile, music's.
More than one.
Yes, all the musics.
Goonbag. Radio for the... Oh, goddamn.
Come on, what is it?
Really taking me... it's a garden.
Come on.
It's the garden, yeah. The seed garden. Fucking bland garden. There
Come
you go.
on, your Final Fantasy VIII is probably your favourite game of all time.
It's amongst
If you
my
couldn't
favourite
pick
games of all time. Top 5, definitely. Although my top 5 may have 40 games in it. Depending on how I feel.
Yes, that's quite a top 5.
I'm the same with movies, man. Like, seriously. I reckon my top 5 movies has about 20,000
Well, see, top
movies.
5s I can sort of do when people tell me, like, what's your number 1, what's your favourite?
That's
Just
fucking
about
impossible.
anything is like, oh, I can't pick one.
It
Sorry.
depends on my mood.
Yeah,
It really does. Like, whatever it is, it will depend on my mood.
absolutely.
Like, one day I'll be like, yeah, Godfather 1 is my favourite movie of all time.
It's a pretty damn dope movie.
Yeah, I hate
But I
when
mean,
people...
it has its faults. It drags on it bits.
Which one?
Part 1.
Part 1? No,
Wait, I'm
2
more thinking
drags.
Part 2.
Two.
Part 1
Everyone
doesn't
loves
really drag.
2. Everyone thinks 2 is the best movie of all
See,
time.
I don't get that.
Personally, I think 1 kills the fuck out.
1 kills it. I didn't overly enjoy 2 that much.
I love 2.
I like 2.
De Niro was great in it. But I feel like
2 really does drag on.
it was too much of it. Like, it was 2 movies at once.
Yeah.
It was like Vito in Italy, and then the rest was about Al Pacino in America.
Yeah,
And
well, see, like, I enjoyed the De Niro bits, but I kind of got into it, like, kind of forgetting, like, hold on, I'm still watching Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like watching 2 different
Yeah.
movies. They did integrate it well, but it's still... Of course they integrate it well. It's one of the best movies of all time. But comparing...
I don't rate it as highly as number 1.
1 was better because, first and foremost, Marlon Brando is one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah, well.
If not the best actor of all time.
And also, a lot of people hate 3.
3 wasn't that bad.
I don't, what's so bad about it?
The problem with it, the honest problem with it is, it's a Godfather movie.
I suppose it had a lot to live up to, and also because it was done. What,
If that was
how
called,
many years after?
If that was called Mafia Tale or some shit like that.
How many
no
years
one would have
after was Part 3 done?
It was 90s. Last
So
part 2 was
10,
done
15?
like early 80s, I think.
Yeah.
So roughly 10 years at
Yeah,
least.
so yeah, it had a lot to live up to, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty
So
good.
you're basically living up to two of the greatest movies of all time.
Fucking
sort of hard.
Michael's trying to go legit. He's got fucking young buck Andy Garcia trying to fucking.
I think that's the other one. A lot of Italians were like, "Fuck Andy Garcia, he's not even Italian."
Maybe.
I remember the Italians saying that shit. I'm like, guys, it's a movie. He's not really head of the
because
mafia.
it's nowhere near as bad as say.
the head of the mafia, though.
Because it's nowhere near as bad as say Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Guile and Kylie Minogue playing Cammy.
At least he kind of looked like Italian.
He looked Italian.
And also, I think I may have mentioned this on the show that saying that the two Americans in the Street Fighter movie were played by an Aussie and where is Jean-Claude Van Damme from?
I have no fucking
Somewhere
idea.
in Europe. Everywhere in Europe.
I'm gonna guess
French?
Russia.
France-ish?
But yeah,
What is that
That
accent?
was a mistake. I apologise to the makers of the Street Fighter movie.
Who wants to come with me?
Thoughtless comments. Who wants to come with me? I apologise. Cammy is not American.
Is Cammy not British?
Is British.
Yeah, there you go.
So I apologise. However, they still had an Aussie chick playing her.
Yeah,
so,
but two Americans, British and Aussie, are basically the same fucking thing.
A lot of Americans don't know the difference between British and American.
yeah, well, I think possibly
They
in the
can't do the
movie
accent.
she was supposed to be
The accent's
American.
Yeah, it's no. She had a British accent.
She
in
was
the
still
movie.
British?
Yeah, she definitely had a
movie?
British accent in the movie. Why do I know this?
I think
That
she
is the biggest question
She is British.
in the movie.
No.
Kylie,
Yeah.
Kyle's.
Yeah.
She was on Neighbours.
Nah, fucking let Brit
Bitch was on
Mother.
Neighbours, and she like married Jason Donovan. That's the Aussiest thing you can ever be. And she was on Kath and Kim.
What?
Yeah, she was in Kath and Kim.
You know way too much.
Why?
about it.
She was also on Doctor Who.
She played their daughter.
She was on Doctor Who.
Yeah, she was on Doctor Who. She was in one episode of Doctor Who.
Which is, I guess, a pretty smooth segue, considering we were actually supposed to talk about something back there. Have you been watching Doctor Who? If you
No.
have not been. Now, I may as well tell the story that I am not an old school Doctor Who fan. I have seen very little of classic Doctor Who, and all that I've seen recently. I did not see back in ye old day.
Me either.
However,
We are both quite the converts.
Yeah. I have gotten into the recent seasons of Doctor Who, and even then it took me a while. A number of people were telling me, oh, you get into like sci-fi, fantasy kind of thing, you should watch Doctor Who. And I just never did, and I even started watching Torchwood, which was a spin-off of Doctor Who, which I found pretty damn interesting,
Some
apart
watch
from
Torchwood.
maybe some of the things that I had to look away from the screen.
The gayness?
Yeah. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Well, it's the old Bill Burr thing,
it was
isn't
pretty...
Isn't it the old Bill Burr answer to that? It's like, you don't have anywhere to insert yourself into that situation.
Nor do
you're
I
like,
want to.
Yeah, but like when you watch a guy and a girl kiss, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm the dude.
Yeah.
Or you watch a girl and a girl kiss, you're like, I don't give a fuck who I am.
Yeah.
But
I'll
you
just be the janitor walking in.
But watching two guys is just like, yeah, I don't want to be involved in that. Like, it's not my thing. It's fine. You guys go for your life. Just, I'd rather not be watching it.
Quite.
Yeah.
Quite.
It's you know what I consider it? It's like old people kissing. You're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What?
Or like two ugly people kissing.
Yeah.
Like, that's gay men to me are like ugly girls. I have no interest in that.
But anyway, back to Doctor Who.
Anyway, smooth segue right there.
Yeah. So, if you have been watching the recent Doctor Who, there is a new Doctor. He's
Peter Capaldi.
either, depending on how you look at it, the 12th or the 13th Doctor.
13th.
In an official sense, he is the 12th Doctor.
He's the 13th
As
Doctor.
John Hurt, who played the Doctor...
The War Doctor.
The War Doctor.
I am the War
in
Doctor.
the 50th anniversary episode, is, I suppose, not officially in a numbered Doctor. He is a Doctor, but not a number... Because he wasn't...
He
the
was
doc-
made an
'cause-
official Doctor at the
Well,
end of
he's
the
not
movie,
a Doctor,
though.
because what he says, because like the whole thing, what I didn't do in the name of the Doctor.
Yeah, but he ended up being the Doctor towards the end anyway
Yeah.
of that movie.
More or less.
Like, eventually.
That was bloody good, by the way. I really
We watched it
enjoyed
at the
that
cinema.
50th anniversary
It was
episode.
quite good to be at
That
the cinema
was
watching Doctor Who.
that episode made being a Doctor Who fan worth it.
Yes, it was.
Just like, ha! Damn, this was good.
It was pretty good.
John Hurt, damn, he's a good actor.
Really, has there been a bad actor recently that has been Doctor Who?
I don't believe so.
That has been the Doctor?
I very much enjoyed Christopher
I
Eccleston.
think Eccleston was awesome.
I definitely enjoyed...
Yeah, do we really need to even say that we enjoyed David Tennant? I think everyone
I forgot
enjoyed
his
David
name for a moment there. I was like, who's after Eccleston?
That is what we like to call a pothole.
And then Matt Smith...
He was brilliant, man. Took a while to warm to him, but he was awesome.
He's probably my least favourite of the...
I actually reckon he jumped up like towards the end.
I mean, I enjoyed him, but he was... Hey, I'm quirky, hey!
Yeah.
Look at my floppy hair!
The quirkiness kind of was in your face. He basically, took out the quirkiness and started wiggling it in your face. It was quite a bit too much.
Yeah,
It's a little bit too much.
But the current Doctor is Peter Capaldi. And he's a great deal older than
Peter
the other
Capaldi.
Doctors. Peter Capaldi.
He likes to say fuck.
He's got angry eyebrows!
In everything else, he says fuck.
Fuck. Yeah, well, there was a funny little bit in a recent episode where, or the second most recent episode, second last episode of the season, where, if you're familiar with Doctor Who,
The penultimate episode.
the gadget of Doctor Who known as the psychic paper.
The psychic
Which,
paper.
when you show it to someone, they basically see whatever
what you want them to see. Yeah. Unless they have some sort of weird psychic
Or they have,
power.
or apparently if they have no imagination.
Well, yeah. So, don't bring it to the bank.
Yeah, that won't work. So yeah, it won't work as a blank check. But recent episode, he showed it to someone, and he was supposed to be an inspector for the government. And the person commented, "Why is there so much swearing on it? He's very angry inside."
I need to see. I need to sit down and watch all these
and it was
episodes
just,
again.
I think it was very much a little nod to the fact that his major other roles, he's swearing like a sailor.
Boy, does he! I tried to. I've watched like this supercut of that show he did in the
I can't
something.
remember the name of it.
I think it's in the cut. In the
Could
cut.
be.
That sounds very rap, so maybe not. In the cut, eh? Yeah, and it's just like him saying "fuck."
Why
a
don't
hell
I
of
do
a
that?
lot.
I can actually go.
Well, there you go. See that? Did you see that?
The wonders of the magic of radio.
It's magical. It's just magical. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it's quite jarring what someone who's playing basically technically a kid show. Like it's a kid show, but it's got so much adult themes that you kind of forget.
Yes, well, I suppose
It's made for everyone.
That brings up another thing. The season finale,
Which I still haven't watched. I'm going to be spoiled.
there was some things in there where
Things
kids,
with stuff.
where I don't know if kids are really going to take some of the things that happen so well.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess I have to get you up to speed because you've seen fuck all of the new season.
I have not seen much.
So Capaldi is the Doctor. Clara is still his companion, and if you see
and fucking hot.
she's she's definitely enjoyable in that manner. Previous season with Matt Smith, she wasn't given a lot of character development.
Yeah, she was just
She's
kind of
used as a plot device.
You're
And
there.
the impossible girl.
The Impossible Girl, that's it.
And just there to basically save the Doctor.
Pretty much, that's all she kind of did.
This season, she's been given a lot more character. She, if you don't know from last
The
season,
first
I think it
four-
was established in the last
Yeah.
season, but more so established this season, she is a teacher.
Yeah, she's a
for
teacher.
Time. During
Awesome
the course of the current season, she fell in love with a fellow teacher.
Pink.
Danny Pink.
Danny Pink, that's
Danny
it.
Pink.
Danny Pink.
Good old Danny Pink.
What a fucking name. Clara Pink.
Who was kind of an interesting character. Yeah, he kind of came into his own, and he especially was good to make...
Kind of wanted to
to
throw him
make
through a
characters.
window at one stage.
He needed to be there to make Clara's character really come out of her shell, I think.
Yeah.
Because Clara's interaction with the Doctor was just so very...
Well, I just recently watched the 4th episode, which had their date. Their first date. And I kind of wanted to throw him through a window.
It's kind of a good thing in a sense.
Yeah, he was giving me the fucking
Yeah.
shit. Like, pretty badly.
Yeah. But it
Like,
allows...
towards the end of the episode, not so much.
But
at the
about
start,
the only
yeah.
character personality trait that Clara's had previously was that she's a control freak.
Oh, and she's kind of smart.
Yeah. All sort of part of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, just intelligent and she knows it.
Yeah. Yes, that's pretty much it.
But, yeah, this season with the whole Danny Pink, she showed a lot of faults and weaknesses and times where she didn't know what to do.
She has a wide face.
There was also a very good episode where, the opposite of that, the Doctor was incapacitated.
Okay.
And Clara, basically the Doctor gave Clara the psychic paper and the screwdriver, and Clara was going around pretending to be the Doctor.
Oh, close enough.
And it's kind of an interesting episode.
Out of
how
all
Clara
the
took
companions,
that,
she
like,
was probably the
okay.
most like the
And
Doctor.
also, it also showed a fault, like, with her sort of character show, control freak. She realizes during the episode, like, it's not easy being the Doctor.
Well, no.
He has to make some fucked up decisions sometimes, and I always give him shit about making these decisions, but
You're
now I have to
basically
make this
immortal.
decision.
That's pretty scary.
Indeed. And so that goes on, and through the course of the episode, like, Danny and Clara fall in love, and Danny doesn't know that Clara is still going off with the Doctor and travelling about.
A boot, eh?
Travelling about, eh? Let's go to Toronto, eh? No, that's not where they went. Although, wait, how the fuck did... Ooh, time paradox. Just the time paradox just occurred to me. Basically,
As they often
because during the course of one of the episodes, they meet a descendant of seemingly Clara and Danny.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Pink.
Yeah, awesome pink.
Yes, not awesome like reeking of awesomeness, like Orson Welles.
I thought it was awesome.
Awesome Pink. What a name!
Yeah.
Sounds like a superhero.
That's a
Awesome Pink.
He may or may not be a gay superhero.
Yeah. The first gay... Well, maybe
Oh, no,
not the
maybe,
first.
maybe he...
Who was that superhero
Maybe he
that
cures breast
came out
cancer.
as gay in the DC
Which one?
universe?
Oh, hang on. There was a gay superhero?
Yeah, there's a gay superhero in the DC
I
universe.
don't remember who it was. Oh,
Is
yeah.
it one of the Green Lanterns?
It was a Green Lantern, yeah.
Kyle Rayner or something?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Something like that.
So we have a gay Green Lantern.
Yeah, there's a gay Green Lantern.
So really,
If you didn't know, now you know.
Fuchsia Lantern, maybe.
Yeah. Also, apparently, someone else in Marvel Universe is making someone gay.
Well, Thor's a woman, so...
Um,
someone should probably tell Chris Hemsworth.
yes.
I like Chris Hemsworth. Poor bastard, man. No, he's got to be a woman.
Where were we? Alright, so... in this finale, basically, and throughout the season, they've been coming... People who have been dying through the course of the season have been ending up in this place, seemingly called the Nether Sphere,
Well, as you do.
run by a lady who calls herself Missy.
Oh, that's who Missy is.
That's who Missy is.
Oh, the Doctor's here.
Speaking of, how is this? He's got the fucking TARDIS sound as his ringtone, yet he's not caught up on Doctor Who.
Quiet you.
But it is quite ironic that your phone rang just then.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah. But anyway. So Missy runs the Nether Sphere, and people, when they die, seemingly go there. And then, so in the finale, right near the start of the first part, Clara is talking to Danny on the phone. I love saying some very, I guess, profound things like, because basically Danny had just found out that she'd been travelling with the Doctor still. And that was trailing on from the previous episode. And they're talking, and Clara's like, I don't know where to start, but firstly, I love you, and etc., etc.,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. Then Danny gets hit by a car.
Oh, shit.
Right at the start. Oh, no, wait. Yes, right at the start of the episode. This happened.
Oh, fuck.
So, right off the bat, it's like, hi, kids! Remember this guy? He's dead now! So, that happens.
Yeah, that sounds like it happened, right?
And so, after that, Clara's very, very distraught.
Oh, really?
Very.
Because, the person she just confessed
Unexpectedly.
to love
Very
to.
surprised.
I love you, bang, you're dead.
Bang, dead.
I would have
And
thought
then
she'd
the
be
doctor
happy.
gives her a call, and she sort of, and I guess in a sense, she doesn't really blame the doctor, but
Well, he wasn't hit
she
by a
gets
phone
the doctor
box.
into a position where she has all the keys to the TARDIS,
Okay.
and wants the doctor to bring him back.
Yeah, that's...
And if you've watched the Doctor before, you know that's not what the Doctor does.
He kind of can't do that.
He can't bring people back from the dead. He can go back in time and, like, sort of, I guess, meet those people that have already died,
Yeah.
but he can't stop them from dying.
No.
Basically, people who are going to die are going to die.
Yeah, he kind of interfere in personal timelines, is basically
Yes.
the way it is, yeah.
Basically.
Which is kind of fucked.
Yeah, it is.
Although, in a way, like...
And
that would
somehow,
kind of
apparently, somehow the Doctor knows when the difference is when this person's not supposed to die.
Yeah, he knows shit.
You know.
He knows everything. He's like...
It's a kind of
He's
a bit of a
almost
thing of
omnipotent.
when it happens and he's part of the timeline.
Yeah.
He can't go back and reverse that because he's already there.
Yeah, he's
and
already kind of there.
Basically, yeah.
You apparently can't meet yourself in the same
Yeah,
timeline,
you can't meet
yeah.
yourself in the same timeline because it
Well, he
creates a
can,
terrible time paradox and blows up the universe.
Well, he can.
He can,
But that's
meet
only
his
because
previous
fanboys...
incarnations.
It's only because fanboys and girls love it.
Yeah,
It's him and him! Ah!
like the 50th anniversary.
Yes. His anniversary was just like, hey, we...
I was disappointed
Yes.
to not see Eccleston, but anyway.
I was more disappointed.
So basically, Pink dies.
Yeah.
Not the singer, Danny Pink.
Yeah, the one we really wanted to die
Yeah,
is still alive,
unfortunately,
unfortunately.
So he dies. Clara wants the Doctor to bring him back. He won't do it. But after some serious persuasion, I won't
Okay.
go into detail exactly what happens there. But basically, Clara kind of betrays the Doctor slightly by stealing the keys. And the Doctor says, "All right, go to hell."
Literally?
Which
Yeah,
means
that-
literally like,
because-
okay, let's find wherever people go.
Well, he
when
probably
they
said it in
die,
more a
and let's
Scottish
see
way, though.
If we can go to hell.
Go to hell!
Let's find where Danny is.
There you go.
And so they locate this organization called W3, which,
Okay.
unbeknownst to them at the time, houses the Nethersphere, which is, as comes about, the Nethersphere
sounds-
is where people go when they die, or at least their souls.
Sounds like purgatory.
billions and billions of souls. And this Nethersphere happens to be built on Gallifreyan technology.
Okay.
Because it's a small little sphere with billions of people inside.
There you go.
Something bigger on the inside. Sounds like Gallifreyan technology.
Yeah.
So,
So heaven's just...
who's Missy?
Oh yeah, Missy's that... She must be a Time Lord.
Which one? Think about this. Apparently,
No,
many
bullshit, no.
Supposedly, many people on the
No.
internet got this before it was revealed. Who's
Fuck
Missy?
Stephen Moffat. Bullshit. The one that
Go
was
on.
in... When the 10th Doctor died?
What?
Is that not the one?
Doctor died. What?
Is it the same one?
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
as in, Missy is short for mistress, as in the master is now a woman.
Oh, fuck off. These people are crazy. That's like some foreshadowing for like several fucking seasons.
Also, apparently, Missy is the little old lady that gave Clara the Doctor's number.
Sake.
And also the little old lady
Can you see why everyone who's
put
like
the
a
article
massive-
in the newspaper when Capaldi and Jenna were separated when Capaldi first came back to Victorian London.
Victorian London. I can't do the accents that well.
You can I.
My Scottish ends up Indian. I don't know why.
I just do whatever accent comes to mind.
I try the Scottish.
If British people, if people from the UK are listening, they probably hate me. They're probably constantly like, "That's not a fucking British accent."
They just said that right now. What the fuck was
Who the
that?
fuck he think he is? I'll fucking punch him in the minger.
In the minger. I'll burn his fucking house down.
That's right. Fucking now here's someone like Jesus. Like Jesus.
Like Jesus.
Mr. Spectrum. I don't think I have Full Spectrum's number, but he's quite a Doctor Who fan. I should get him to call in. But I don't know his number, so...
Too late.
Oh well. Unfortunately, I can't call him. But yeah, so Missy is the master.
Okay.
And...
So basically the Masters set up Purgatory.
Yes. The Master has set up Purgatory.
Okay.
And also, basically, there's this creepy little bit where Clara and the Doctor are talking to this manager, and he's saying, basically, we set up this place to house the dead because we discovered in the past, like, translated static on TVs and videotapes, and it's the voices of the recently deceased, and most of them are saying the same three words. Don't cremate me.
Oh, because they're not kind of dead
Because
yet.
apparently they can feel everything.
Oh, that would be terrible.
That's
So
always... How would that be for life after death? You can feel...
Everything that happens
Everything.
to your body. But hang on, being buried wouldn't be much better. You're getting eaten alive.
Suppose, yeah. Would
So
be
if
pretty painful.
that's feasible, what is the best fucking option? A quick burn or being eaten alive over several weeks?
I'm led to believe, and I mean, I can't ask anyone who has died to clarify this.
I feel
but
like
am
I'm an
led-
authority on this.
But I am led to believe that burning to death is one of the most painful ways to go.
Yeah, but at least it's quick.
Is it?
Well, it is. It's like, especially cremation. It's just sort of straight through.
Suppose.
Like, you're no longer being... Well,
What about acid bath?
well, that wouldn't be any better. What are we, Breaking Bad?
Well, speaking of seeing as though this is the spoiler show, do you watch Breaking Bad?
I've watched Breaking Bad.
Have you watched all of it?
Yes, I've watched all of it.
Alright, well,
To me,
would you
in my
like to
opinion,
discuss the ending of Breaking Bad?
In my
Because
opinion,
I
the-
personally
the-
have not watched any of Breaking Bad.
the best show ever.
Really?
Yes. Proviso. It is the best written show in that everything is tied up.
Okay.
There is no real loose ends. And the ending was satisfying. No other show has ever done that. For me.
Interesting. So, spoiler? Spoilers?
Do you want me to spoil it?
It may actually make me watch the show.
Well, the show basically is. If I haven't already
I get the basic gist of... it's based around Walter White.
Yeah.
He's diagnosed... He's a university professor. He's diagnosed with cancer.
Well, I'll sum up the show in one sentence. It is the story of Ned Flanders turning into Lex Luthor.
I think you just sold me.
It really is. Starts out very buttoned down. Just a school teacher, a science teacher, who admittedly was a very brilliant scientist at one stage. Right? He's a chemistry teacher almost. So, right, he starts out that. Works at a car wash to supplement his income, because he actually doesn't get that much, because teachers get shit, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that firsthand.
Yeah,
Well, not. I know that secondhand, because both my parents are teachers.
Yeah, they just get
and
nothing.
we were not rich.
They deserve a lot more money, by the way. Get on it, anyone who's in charge of that. Yeah, because they're listening to me.
I grew up in Sunshine, Melbourne. look up that place if you know nothing about it.
It sounds really
If you're
nice.
from Melbourne, it sounds really nice. It's
Doesn't
called
it?
Sunshine.
Like
But that's where I
bright-
grew up. So, my parents were not rich.
Sunshine,
This
bright.
is not a rich neighborhood.
Yes, it is. I didn't live very highly on my means either. So
Yeah, Footscray is so
so much better. Footscray, drug capital Victoria. So yeah, Breaking Bad, right? So he starts out very buttoned down, very normal, very nice, family man. Has like a kid with cerebral palsy. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like shit like that. Finds out he has a baby on the way,
Okay.
but he also was diagnosed with inoperable cancer.
Lovely.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's brain cancer.
When life just kicks you in the balls.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is basically he has to go through chemo, and it's fucking expensive.
You know.
He basically loses his job because he could no longer perform that job. So he decides, hey, why don't I cook meth? That's all. As you do.
As you do.
You know, why not? How much? Because he goes on a ride along with his brother-in-law, who is a DEA agent.
Okay.
Anyone who doesn't know what a DEA agent is basically the head of like the drug task force. So basically, someone who investigates people who create and deal drugs. So basically, he goes on a ride along with him. Finds out a former student is cooking meth, who ends up being Jesse Pinkman. And they go on a partnership eventually in order to cook meth. And surprisingly, he cooks the best meth because he's a former chemist.
Okay.
And
Is that Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad,
Yeah, I've heard this.
And it is close to probably one of the most brilliant shows I've ever watched. Like,
I don't know.
Do you know how to cook meth now?
no. Well, maybe I do. I'm not sure. I know how to get rid of bodies, though.
Acid
That's
bath?
Dexter.
That's about yeah.
Acid bath.
No. Dexter's way too involved. All you need is some hydrochloric acid and a barrel, and you're pretty much cool. To be fair,
Just make sure you use the right acid.
being Italian
'Cause
is
I
kind of
did hear-
inbuilt in my psyche to be able to
I
get
have
rid of
heard.
body
I can't
anyway.
remember where.
Don't they
it just
teach you
reminded
that
me
at
of a
like
new.
5? It's like, this is how you'll get rid of the body.
This is reminding me of a news story I read a while ago. I can't remember where it was. Some like country town or something. Some people were disposing of bodies in acid. Only it wasn't hydrochloric acid.
They did it on Mythbusters.
Yeah.
They actually tried to bust that myth, and you really can't dispose of a body using that.
Using acid.
Yeah, using acid.
really?
Unfortunately, yeah, it wouldn't actually. It done
Or maybe
a
it was
decent
hydrochloric
job.
acid.
It
But,
done a decent job. Well, they didn't actually use humans, by the way.
but
Sure.
yeah, I remember this. news
Jamie and
story.
Adam are not killing people for science.
Why not?
But-
Why not? Come
wouldn't be the
on,
first time.
you really want to bust some fucking myths?
Yeah, man. They use like pork shoulder, which is kind of similar to human. We use their hearts.
What a waste of pork.
That's what exactly my thoughts. I was watching this like,
Oh, I could pork.
we could just fucking roast that. It'd be beautiful. You just ruined that pork. You should have killed someone. I can't eat people.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, you can't. You apparently won't dissolve entirely, and the bone at least will.
But yeah, I do remember hearing a news story that apparently some people were trying to dissolve some bodies in acid, and the smell was like permeating through the town.
yeah,
Man.
yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of Breaking Bad, and it ended perfectly. Basically, all loose ends were tied up, including everyone that fucked with Walt during the time, and Jesse got away free. Which is exactly the way you wanted it. Because Jesse was the most human of all the characters.
Okay.
He was kind of dealing meth, but he really felt fucking terrible about it. And made like shit. They made billions, well not billions, but millions of dollars
I see.
doing it, basically. But Jesse ended up like just throwing all the money away.
Fair enough.
So basically, these ill-gotten gains, I shall throw them.
Yeah.
I shall give them to people. And he just threw money outside of the...
Now I'm going to Mexico.
At one stage, he kind of just went crazy and started throwing money out of the car. Like, wads of cash. And I'm like, I wish I was in that neighborhood. I wouldn't mind that cash.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's blood money.
It's not my blood.
It's not my blood. So yeah, it ended perfectly. Walt kind of won, but kind of didn't because you wanted the spoiler, he died.
Yeah, alrighty. I figured. Alright, so I guess the final show gives spoilers about. So you have not seen the ending of Lost?
I have not seen the ending of Lost.
Okay. The ending of Lost angers a lot of people. Hence why I keep sort of bringing it up as a sort of thing just to kind of get a rise.
I do know that there
Let's
are
talk about
people,
the ending of Lost.
There are still people going, fuck you, Lost, and all your fucking lostness.
Okay, so, Lost as a show, I enjoyed.
Why are you going into this?
Shut up, Ted.
No
one asked you.
I like Lost as well, but why are you going into
Have you
the
seen
end?
the ending of Lost?
I have, actually.
What did you
It's
think
horrible.
of it?
Fucking horrible.
Alright, so the ending of Lost.
That is a Ted seal of approval for
I guess the
horribleness.
whole sort of question throughout the show is like, what's the island really and why were they there? That answer is sort of not given.
It's also not.
It's sort of given and sort of not given. Basically, the explanation is kind of the island is special. And people are drawn
the people
here,
who wrote the show were special.
and people are drawn here basically because this island basically keeps the world turning. And it basically, this island is, I guess, in a sense, in a lot of ways, like the source of good and evil, the source of the balance of the world, and there must always be someone there to maintain that balance, and so every so often the island will bring new candidates
Okay.
to become the replacement.
Will they be unable to lose weight like Hurley?
No.
Fucking Hurley, lose weight, you cunt.
So I believe I could.
That still shits me now.
It has kind of been a while, but I believe that
He
was
had a stockpile of food.
That was
didn't he?
essentially the explanation of what the island was.
Okay.
However, that was not the ending per se. What do you think you're doing?
Sorry.
People touching the levels. Do
fuck on my levels,
the
mate.
levels.
But the ending was basically all because in the final season, people were because from the start, people were thinking, "Oh, the island, they're dead." They weren't dead.
I thought it was Purgatory. That was my
Yeah,
original
Purgatory, etc. They weren't. It was apparently a real island.
thought. I just realised there might be people who don't know what the hell we're talking about when we talk about
Yeah, it's
Purgatory.
Tasmania.
Purgatory
It's
is
ended
the
up
place
being
you go
Tasmania.
when you die before the
Heaven,
next
and
step.
basically, depending
Yes,
on how much you sin,
Tasmania.
you have to serve time there. So you won't technically always
Once
go
again,
to hell.
Tasmania.
Tasmania, yeah.
It's Tasmania.
Only
So
less
the-
two-headed people.
Yes.
Yeah. And cousins marrying each other. It doesn't happen as much
That happened in Lost.
in Purgatory. But it doesn't happen as much in Purgatory as it does happen in Tassie.
Yes.
Also, fuck Tassie.
I like Tasmanians. They're alright.
I
They're
like
alright,
Tasmanians,
they're
but fuck
alright.
Tassie.
Richo D's from Tassie. What up, Richo?
I still fuck Tassie. I don't care if you're from Tassie, but fuck Tassie.
So yeah, the final episode, like in the final
Rain
season,
and shit.
was basically they were these two concurrent realities going on.
Okay.
There was the island, and then there was
The non
all the people from the island, off the island, not knowing each other, not remembering each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
like rewritten reality.
Okay.
That other reality was Purgatory.
Cool.
The show generally was not Purgatory.
Okay,
The
so the island
its
was the
own-
real world.
The island was the real world, but basically it was this special island that drew candidates to
It's
it.
special.
It's special, and this island maintained the balance.
Okay.
But
Did they explain the massive polar bears and fog monster?
because the Dharma Initiative wanted to study the island, they discovered the island and wanted to study it.
But what,
And
why?
the island had serious magnetic fields and
So
weird
we ended up with
things.
dinosaur-sized polar bears and fog monsters.
Fog Monster was a person.
No, it was a fog monster.
No, Fog Monster was a person.
But it was a fog monster.
The Fog Monster was a person.
Okay. I don't want to know.
Fog Monster was the Man in Black.
Johnny Cash?
Yeah. Let's go with that. Johnny Cash was the Fog Monster.
Well, he did say that until things are brighter, he'll be the Man in Black.
Indeed.
Must learn from that, kids.
So, but yeah, the final episode all comes around. They eventually, in this alternate reality that is actually purgatory, they begin remembering each other. They all meet up, and they all come together at the end. And basically, I think Jack gives this speech that, like, we're all here because our experiences on the island all affected us so strongly that we have such a connection to each other that we all have to pass on together.
Okay.
So basically, that was the kind of thing that pisses a lot of people off with Lost. That basically the big ending was the power of friendship.
Well, that was fucking gay. So there you go! The power of friendship.
The power of friendship.
So, our teaser really did not help with this whole conversation, by the way. We did say spoilers, but we did also say we're going to get to the fucking bottom of what happens once you die.
Well, I guess, so this goes...
So we have three options.
So we have three options. So, Doctor Who option.
Yeah.
You go to the Nethersphere. Your soul gets uploaded...
Well, two options.
...to the Nethersphere.
Doctor Who or Lost.
And, your body still feels what... everything that happens... Or you still feel everything that happens to your body. And also you may be brought back by some strange rain that turns you into a Cyberman.
Well, obviously.
Just
'Cause,
throwing that out
why
there.
not?
So, maybe not the Cyberman part, but I guess the first part of that is potentially a legit thing.
Those who watch Dragon Ball Z, not that
goes
Cyberman.
somewhere, and you still feel everything.
Also,
that your
those who watch
happens to your
Dragon
body.
Ball Z, not that
Also, I
type of
guess
Cyberman.
that the Nethersphere, that basically... The Nethersphere was even an interesting concept in itself. It was basically like just billions of apartments, and like everyone who died had their own apartment.
Sounds pretty cool.
And it was basically just like life, but more of it.
Can I just say,
And-
if I die and then have to live life normally, I don't want to fucking die.
And also you also had Wi-Fi.
I have Wi-Fi now. I'm
Also,
cool.
on occasion, you could get phone calls from the real world, from the living world.
So why am I dead?
Yeah. So that's an interesting one for...
No,
the
I don't
afterlife.
want this death. That sucks.
So, option number 2.
Was
When you die, if you have done some... I guess essentially the thing that Lost got at was, when you die, before passing on to the next realm, you must basically make amends, or... I guess essentially the book, the 5 people you meet when you die. You must make amends with the people who have touched your life. Have you read this book, The 5
No, I have
People
not
You
read
Meet
the
When
book,
You
but
Die?
I do know of it.
Very interesting book, actually.
Yeah.
Basically, based around, from what I can remember, old roller coaster repairman who just kind of dies one day in a bit of a freak accident with the roller coaster. Like a part of the roller coaster falls on, he dies. And he always kind of felt that he hadn't had much of a life, etc. And the 5 people he meet were like, and he expects like the only person he really wants to meet was his wife that died like maybe 10, 20 years prior.
Okay.
But like the first 4 people he meets aren't his wife. Or maybe the first 3. But like first 3 or 4, and like one was like a little kid that he, like most of the people he met he didn't even know. But he just managed to affect their lives
somehow.
in just such a slight way.
Okay. Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah. It was a really, really interesting book.
But that sounds a lot nicer than kind of what I think happens when we die.
Okay, so that's theory number 2. I'll throw in theory number 3, which is actually, I've got a book sitting over there.
Oh,
I'll probably
yeah.
let you borrow it if this
I
interests
will.
you. It's called Revelations.
The Book of Revelations?
Not the Book of Revelations, just a book called Revelations.
But I like the Book of Revelations.
And
that's where all the cool shit happens in the
pass me
Bible.
that book. I'll read the quick blurb on the back of it.
Blurb. It's very blurby.
And this book's seen better days.
It certainly has.
Alright, so, and it's a story about Mike.
Well, obviously.
Alright, so this is... Alright. You die. Not an end, but a beginning. Take your time. Remember who you really are. You aren't your day job, are you? You aren't your relationship. You are your own person. That's how Mike's story begins. It's not how it ends.
Hang on.
In the court...
This is obviously not this Mike, because I have neither a day job nor,
nor
a relationship.
In the course of this story, the unexpected truth about biblical characters is revealed. Many people die, some of them more than once. Armageddon is brought about. Science is shown to be a big fraud, albeit a correct one. And you die.
Hang
Not
on,
an end, but a beginning.
How is
Alright, so
something both a
basically-
fraud and correct?
Basically what happens in this book, Mike dies,
No!
and basically
I like
it turns
Mike.
out Mike goes to this other place, which is basically very nondescript.
Okay.
Everything is very flat. Everything is very rounded. Things don't have edges. He even notices about himself that he has become incredibly asymmetrical. Whereas throughout the course of your life, you'll get scars. Certain things will happen. I guess someone was reading it and never finished. And basically, this place is not heaven, but basically, he gets told that the place he just came from, Earth, is
Okay.
a simulation.
Ooh, the South Park.
Somewhat. But basically, that he's woken up.
I actually like that.
But basically, that he's woken up in the real world.
So like the Matrix.
And basically, in the real world, there are only a few real people, and they live forever. Time essentially does not exist. And basically, they've created this Earth simulation mainly to pass the time.
It's a reality show.
Yeah, mainly they were
No
bored.
place you can have
They were bored
rhinos.
of timelessness and nothingness, and so they created the Earth simulation.
Oh, no other place you can have rhinos, hippopotamuses,
But then-
giraffes, and Jews.
But the thing is, then also Mike's a bit scattered about the fact that apparently his girlfriend is not a real person.
No.
Is part of the simulation.
Now I really, really do. Me and Mike have a lot in common.
But basically, and so,
My girlfriend's also not a real person.
and basically he goes back into, and yeah, when you die, because there's essentially kind of nothing to do in the real world, you go back into Earth and have another life.
That sounds pretty fucking cool, actually. But do you know that it's a simulation when you go back?
To a certain extent.
Because
I
that
think-
would be epic.
I think people, you can choose, sort of, or maybe there's a fuck up, a glitch in the system where people are starting to
The
go...
fucks I would
think,
not
yeah,
give if I thought this was
I
a
think,
simulation.
yeah, basically that there's a glitch in the system and people start going back being aware. And the first person who went back being aware was not Mike. It was a person...
It was
by the
Steve
na-
fucking Jobs, that's what it was.
It was a person by the name of Jesus Christ.
Hey Zeus, hey? Good old
So
Jesus.
he went back knowing, created a religion, a following, and at this point, like, Jesus Christ, or basically who he is now on Earth, is, and basically Earth basically is bent to the will of the real people. Basically, a lot like the Matrix, basically, their expectations...
They're like a bunch of Neos.
Yeah, their expectations mold reality.
Okay.
So if they expect something to taste a certain way, it will.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And throughout the story, they get further into that, and like basically through Christ's expectations, he becomes pretty much freaking immortal, and etc. And that's basically the story.
That sounds pretty
I can't
fucking
really remember how it all ends and ties up and resolves, but that is basically the story, and that story's idea of an afterlife.
I like that afterlife.
You like that one?
I really like that afterlife. If there was an afterlife, which, by the way, I don't believe there is an afterlife.
Okay.
I don't believe there's anything. I'm a pretty hardline atheist, which is kind of a problem for some people. If
I
there
have no
was,
problem with it.
if there, no, it's obviously not a problem with you. There are some
I
religious
mean, we're only
people-
talking about the possibilities of what does come after death.
There are some religious people who have problems with me. I'm not telling you that you have to believe that. I'm not telling anyone.
I mean, I suppose in a sense that
because I am about as certain about this as anyone else
I suppose
is about
that last
their
theory
beliefs.
kind of goes with the Buddhist theory of reincarnation.
Yeah, and I think that, to be fair, science goes with the belief of Buddhist reincarnation. And that's the truth. Conservation of energy, conservation of matter. Everyone is eventually made into something else.
Yeah.
There is no loss in carbon. There is no loss in energy in the whole universe. So, what makes more sense than reincarnation? That is the laws of physics.
Or is that just really what people want to believe, that they can come back?
No, but what I'm saying is, if you were to put that into the...
I mean, I agree that in a sense, reincarnation is science in the sense that you go back to Earth and then pieces of you become part of the Earth.
And
you
that's
do,
true.
in a sense, reincarnate.
That actually
way.
is what happens.
That is what happens. Pieces. If you are buried in the ground, many years later, or however long it takes, pieces of you are now part of the ground.
What makes more sense is what my question is. So a reincarnation based on physical laws. Or you go up to heaven and you meet an old man in a beard. Old man in spats. With a beard who created everything.
Yes.
So, what makes more sense? Heaven, which there is no real technical evidence of, basically through your immortal soul, which we have no evidence of. It's not like we have evidence that someone, like, I remember someone trying to falsify evidence that we lose weight as soon as we die. That is not true.
We have had this argument, I believe it was off air.
Definitely off air.
About the existence of a soul. And you believe the soul does not exist.
Well, I believe there's no evidence for a soul. Yeah.
Fair.
Give me evidence and I'll believe it, is what I'm saying. Now there is a bunch of people that will probably say, there's evidence of a soul in the fact that you have altruism and stuff like that. Well, the truth is, altruism is something that doesn't happen all that often. Most people have motives.
I like to think that some people don't have souls.
Very few people... Some people are just assholes. I'll give you that. But
I
yeah.
suppose why are some people assholes and some people not?
Upbringing, experience, genetics.
All just genetics?
No, I didn't say all just genetics. Some
like,
upbringing, some...
Do you believe
life
entirely our
experience?
personalities, there's sort of nothing more to our personality than kind of the neurons and etc. that go on?
Well, it's a result of those neurons. Yeah, like, if I was to stab you in the frontal lobe right now...
That wouldn't be very nice.
I wouldn't do it, because...
I'd probably stab you back.
No, you probably wouldn't, because you'd be stabbed in the frontal lobe, and you'd probably want to deal with that first.
No, probably not. I mean, I don't think I'd be thinking very rationally at that point.
You actually probably have trouble making decisions, because that's one of the areas of the brain that is involved in decision making. So you would, by the time you'd made a decision, I would have made my getaway.
Just remember there are swords behind you.
What do you think I'm going to stab you with? It's closer to me than you.
Yeah. Shit, I have not planned this well.
But yeah, if I was to stab you in the frontal lobe right now, you'd probably have
don't do
trouble
that.
making decisions. You'd probably be a very different person once you've healed up. You'd probably be either a lot more timid or a lot more risk taking.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's all just from a lesion in your brain. So when I say
wait, so you're saying it's actually the lesion in your brain causing you to feel that way?
No, the loss of neurons.
experience,
the loss of
causing
neurons.
you to feel that.
The loss
I mean,
of
like
neurons.
the thing about either being more risk taking or more meek. Is that a result of physical damage or
No, it's a result of damage
Result
to those
of-
neurons. Yeah.
and not just
Oh,
how you
no doubt
reacted
that-
on a personality
no-
level?
no-
Like, oh,
no
this
doubt
guy
that
stabbed
is-
me. Maybe I won't fuck with him next time.
No, that is definitely part of it, but you've also seen that with stuff like strokes. Strokes that happen in the frontal lobe.
Okay, yeah.
So you would have a loss of neurons and you'd have a very similar... This all came about from, if you ever heard of the case of Phineas Gage.
Phineas Gage?
Yeah, Phineas Gage. He was a guy who... well, basically he used to work on the railroads, and he had a railroad...
I think
not
I have
spike.
heard this.
It's not a spike; it's more of a rod, a metal
Yeah.
rod that went through his head, and
Yeah.
it went right through his frontal lobe, and just missed his occipital. So he would have been blind if it was further in. He survived quite well, but he went from a very timid, quiet man to a very rambunctious, crazy, risk-taking guy. He ended up going to join the circus later on in his life. So he basically changed his whole personality after that experience. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, that's obviously because of the experience. He thought, fuck it, life's too short. That's possible. That's very possible. But we've seen very similar things in stroke studies, in brain lesion studies, stuff like that.
I see.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it sounds it.
So yeah, in the discussion about a soul, then I still have no evidence that it's not just how our brains. It's not just how our experiences have shaped those neurons. If anyone wants to argue with me, I'm cool with that.
So where does imagination come from?
Again, it's our experience.
And
It's
why do some people have no imagination whereas other people are exceptionally creative?
the way you were brought up, the way your parents were brought up, the way their parents were brought up. Some people were brought up to be imaginative. You look at Japan. They're very serious most of the time. It's very much a culture of you need to get good grades. You
And
need
yet
to
they're
do this.
incredibly imaginative.
Yeah.
With their art forms.
Yeah,
Imaginative is one word you could use.
yeah. I agree. But that's what I'm trying to say. Is yes, that can
They're
be
right,
all true.
eccentric.
But eventually your experiences will sort of come through.
But you look at the people in Africa, and you got people all in one tribe, and you got some people that are like the village artist that does all the jewellery. I mean, you need imagination for that kind of stuff.
Oh, entirely.
And then you got just the dull people. They're in the same
Yeah.
village, they're eating the
Yeah,
same
true.
foods,
I-
they're breathing the same air, drinking the same water, yet the experience is different.
There's always going to be individual differentiation.
Yeah.
That always happens. That happens in life.
Alright.
I think.
Well, we've been rambling for about...
We have been
straight
rambling
now.
a bit too long.
So I think it's about time to play some music. How about this? Have you heard this? This everybody's free to wear sunscreen?
I may have.
You probably have at some point. I think it's about time for that. It's about that time.
But what if you don't want to wear sunscreen?
Just wear the fucking sunscreen.
But I don't want to be a pirate. Yeah, that was a Seinfeld reference.
I
Fuck
want to
you
be a
all.
pirate.
Yeah,
oh
fuck
yeah,
you,
the
mate.
puppy shirt, but I don't want to be a pirate. Just be a
But
pirate.
I want to be a cowboy.
Alright, so music's and then we'll be back to talk about
Just wear the
something.
puffy shirt, Mom. Just wear it.
Hello, everybody. You are tuned in to the radio, also known as the Goonbag.
help
Let's
things
see.
a little.
Turn the speakers off. Otherwise we get the feedbacks.
I like getting my feedback.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I like your groove
I like
back.
good feedback. That's not really good feedback. That's the kind of ear-piercing
How else are you
feedback.
going to learn if you don't get bad feedback? What do you think you are? A school?
Yeah, but apparently I haven't learned. I've got bad feedback and I still fuck up every
What do you
time.
think you are? At primary school? In year fucking 2005?
Yes, but the thing is, I'm not learning from the bad feedback. I'm not learning my lesson.
I just wanted to go on a fucking tangent about fucking how schools are no longer allowing
about
bad
school-
feedback anymore.
Yeah, because everyone's
Everyone's
a
special.
winner.
Everyone's perfect.
You're all
You can
special.
never learn
Yeah,
from your mistakes.
Have a ribbon for trying.
Fuck off. Seriously. Get me started on this shit.
Good times.
People get me started.
Alright, but
Gotta increase my medication.
for our vaguely final topic of the evening,
Vaguely.
you may be familiar with Australian hip-hop rap singer who calls himself 360.
And
As
he's
in
not made
a
by
full circle.
Microsoft.
No, he's not made by Microsoft. It's not an Xbox 360. He just calls himself 360. 360. Yeah, that's his name. You've probably, if you listen to the radio or know anything about Aussie hip-hop,
So
etc.,
no one.
you've probably heard of 360. I am personally not a terribly big fan of him. I'm not so much of a hater of him.
Got beef.
But I'm
Dangerous.
not a real big fan.
Starting wars.
But, I mean, I was sort of a fan of him back in the day. I first met 360 when he was about, 16, rapping in underage battles.
Okay.
Back then, he was alright. I mean, yeah, he was alright. He was alright. I had respect. He was young. He was doing shit. I had respect for that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, these days he kind of, what he does is a bit poppy, so I'm not real big on it. But
What's wrong? What's wrong?
But anyway, 360 was on Q&A recently. Questions and answers. It's a show
Questions
on
and answers? Q&A, yeah.
ABC show.
Yeah, ABC.
And he was
Have
on
some
that. And it
pretty
was,
decent luminaries on that show
Yes,
too.
it was the topic of the day was apparently racism.
Racism.
Yeah, racism.
It's like I thought it was about. I thought it's when you dislike Russia.
Yeah.
Racism.
And as you know, if you listen to the show or what you call this, we enjoy some good racism.
Yeah, good old fashioned
But
family
at the same
racism.
time, we don't enjoy
Well,
racism.
technically, we're not racist. We hate everyone.
I mean, we like to make a joke.
Yeah.
We try not to actually offend anyone.
I'm cool if I offend everyone, because technically it's not racist.
Yeah. But, yeah, we don't hate anyone.
No, we really don't give a fuck, basically.
Yeah, we enjoy a good racist joke, less like a lot of people.
Nothing wrong with racism, as long as it's not actually affecting anyone's life.
Me and 1/6 the other night, we had some great racist jokes going back and forth. That was brilliant.
There you go.
Like, he was dissing me for being Indian, and like, he was, I can't remember, oh yeah, he called me an Indian giver at one point.
Give something and then take it back?
Oh, no, because he was giving me money for something, I can't remember what it was, and yeah, he called me an Indian giver. He's like, I'm not being racist, nothing, man. It's like, no, it's all good, man. Like, because at the start of his set, he was doing like a bit of a sound test and was hiding behind the sound desk.
Okay.
And I just casually said to Coots, is 1/6 hiding, or is he just so black that we can't see him?
Oh, racist. Racist. Them's fighting words. Don't say that shit in Footscray.
So, I enjoy a bit of friendly racism. But
It has to be friendly, by the
it
way.
has to be friendly. Friendly.
Good old-fashioned family
It's different.
racism.
Saying this to a friend is different to any other person off the street, rolling down the street, yelling out white power. Don't quote Uncle Ruckus out on the street.
It's
If
very
you're a fan
hard
of the Boondocks,
quote
don't quote Uncle Ruckus.
He is the worst person because he's possibly the best character in that show, but the hardest to quote.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the topic of racism, there was a bit on Q&A. And So 360 made the comments that he believed that, I'm paraphrasing, but basically that Australia was a racist country and that the flag of Australia was a symbol of racism to him these days. And so 3AW presenter Tom Elliott wanted to talk to... Mike's a real big fan.
Fuck the Elliots.
Wanted to talk to 360 about these comments that he made on Q&A. And so, called up 360 and had a chat with him on the radio. There was just one problem. It wasn't 360. You fucking muppet. Oh, you muppet.
You'd think if you're a professional, you'd actually make sure who you called was who you called.
I may not play the whole fucking thing, because it goes for a bit, but I have got it here somewhere. I've got the audio. This audio was coincidentally posted by 360, the real 360, who found out that he was apparently having an interview on 3AW,
even though he
wasn't, and decided to record it while having a bit of a giggle.
Hey, look, I'm on 3AW, even though I'm not on 3AW.
Yeah, how'd that happen? So this is the interview with Tom Elliott and 360. Enjoy, or listen in.
So someone hit me up just saying that they're listening to 3AW, and Tom Elliott, the dude who wrote the article about me in the Herald Sun, has got me live on air and is about to have a discussion with me about some of the shit that I said on Q&A last week. So we're tuning in right now to listen to 360 get interviewed live by Tom Elliott.
This is Drive with Tom Elliott. 5:08 at the moment. I'm going to speak to a rapper 360, aka Matt Colwell. He and I had a battle of sorts a couple of weeks ago. He made some comments on Q&A with which I disagreed, essentially saying that the Australian flag was a racist symbol. I wrote that I thought this was ridiculous, that Australia was one of the least racist countries on earth. Anyway, he joins us in a moment. First though, Corey, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Tom. I was just going to comment on Daniel Andrews' comment about discrimination in the workplace and his viewpoints. I just thought it'd be a perfect opportunity for Liberal supporters and Greens to start applying for jobs at the Labor Party, and smokers at the Cancer Council, and drug addicts at the Anti-Drug Unit.
You know, it's interesting, Corey. I think it was 6 months ago there was a job advertised for a chief of staff. And someone put, and they said they had to say they were an equal opportunity employer. I think it was on the Liberal side, but the idea was that it was highly unlikely that someone from the Labor Party would get the job.
Fucking get on with it, Tom.
All right, thank you, Corey. Thank you very much for the call. Okay, 3 weeks ago on Q&A on the ABC Monday nights, Matt Colwell, a.k.a. Rapper 360, had this to say.
There's so many racist bigots in this country, and they're everywhere. And it's like, I don't know about, I was talking to someone earlier about this, but the Australian flag to me has now become, I identify that with racism. Does anyone else?
There you go. That was Matt Colwell there. He said there's so many racists and bigots here, and that the Australian flag has become a symbol of racism. I took him to task on that. I wrote an article about which I felt very strongly in the Herald Sun a few days later. I said that I think Australia is one of the least racist and most welcoming countries on earth. It's not to say that there aren't pockets of racism. Of course there are. There are in every country. I listed several other countries that have far more racism than Australia. Anyway, Mr. Colwell then wrote on Twitter that I'd said a lot of words, but really had said absolutely nothing. Anyway, he's been good enough to join us now. Matt Colwell, a.k.a. 360. Thank you for your time.
G'day, mate.
Now, do you still really think that Australia is full of racists and bigots?
Firstly, I'll just ask, is this live or are you going to quote me out of context again?
No, this is live. This is on air right now.
All right, no problem. All right. Now, what was your question?
Do you really think Australia is full of racists and bigots?
I think look, I'll put it this way. I'm legally blind in my right eye, and even I can see that the country is inherently racist.
Inherently racist. Well, my issue with that was I can list many, many countries that I've visited that are far more racist than Australia. I mean, what countries in your mind are less racist than here?
But that's the issue. I don't think that saying Well, these other countries are less racist, so it's all right that we are a little bit racist.
Well, okay, but on your definition then, the whole world is inherently racist.
Of course it is.
Right, and you think the Australian flag is a particularly racist symbol?
I don't think it was manifested in that way, but I think that from my personal experience, I associate it with racism now after I've experienced so much racism by people touting that nonsense.
What sort of racism have you experienced?
I've witnessed it. I haven't experienced it personally. I'm a white person. I'm sure, you find it hard to relate because you're a rich white guy as well, you know?
Well, I don't know about rich, and I've got plenty of other bits and pieces in me. But, I mean, this idea that racism is only a white thing, I mean, I don't know how much you travelled throughout Asia, but I can tell you this, if you ask a Korean person what they think of Japanese or vice versa, they absolutely hate each other.
Well, if I lived in Korea, I would probably say that Koreans are racist, yeah, but over here, it's the majority of the white people that are racist because we are the majority.
Okay, well, why is it that we've allowed in so many non-white people to live in Australia if we're so racist?
Look, I'll just say this. The thing is, when you're talking to me, right, you're forgetting, you're trying to argue semantics, but...
No, I'm not trying to argue semantics. I'm looking at the real world and saying...
Am I allowed to speak?
Yes, you are, but we have you're accusing me of something. I'm having a genuine debate with you. There's lots of people here who are non-white. Now, if we were so thoroughly racist, I don't understand why we've let them in.
Okay, but... So if you're right and I'm wrong, then why was I inducted into the Illuminati and you weren't?
Sorry, what?
That's a simple question.
What? So I missed it. What was that about the Illuminati?
See, that's the thing. When I bring up a serious issue
I didn't hear what you said.
You didn't hear it.
I didn't say it again. I missed it.
I'm trying to explain why I was inducted into the Illuminati because I am enlightened. Well, sure, I can rap, okay? But...
Oh, where'd it go?
Rapper, right? Sorry for swearing. And you should check out his battles, but...
Wait a minute, you've been inducted into the Illuminati. Now, that's one of those sort of weird cults, isn't it?
It's not a weird cult at all. We are the enlightened beings.
You're an enlightened being. Well, isn't that rather racist to say that you're enlightened and everybody else isn't?
That has nothing to do with race. It's a mind frame.
Righto, so, all right, well, I have heard of the Illuminati. I didn't realise people actually joined it. So...
I'm a unicorn.
You're a unicorn.
Who are you to say I'm not a unicorn? All I'm trying to do is open everyone's minds up to these racist ideals, and you are just trying to stomp them out.
Okay, I'm looking at Australia as it is. I live in a very multicultural neighbourhood here in Melbourne. There are elements of racism, but I don't think, having travelled around the world, I think we are at the very low end of the scale.
May I ask, did you read my response to your article?
Yes, I did.
Did you agree that you got body bag free and all zipped up?
Did I agree what? That I was body bag free and all zipped up?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know quite what that means, to be honest.
Oh, okay. See, firstly, I consider that racist, but anyway, that's another issue.
Wait a minute, sorry, I just don't... Why is it... Well, body bags is usually a reference to combat, because that's what they put dead soldiers into.
Here's the thing. All right. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts. I'm getting a bit worked up, and I don't want to come across the wrong way. I just feel like I don't know if your listeners have read your article, but I was misquoted, all right? And I just feel like it's journalists like you that give this whole career a bad name. Last week, didn't you interview an ISIS fighter that turned out not to be an ISIS fighter at all?
Yeah, we did, and we made a mistake with that, and we acknowledged that. But I'm just saying, are you sure that you're Matt Colwell here?
How much research goes into who you actually interview?
A lot. I listened to what you said on television, I just played a bit of it, and I responded to the words that you said.
Before you get people on, how much research goes into it? Or do they just ring up and say, hi, I'm 360, I come on?
So you're not 360?
Of course I'm 360, but I'm asking you in the general sense. How much research do you do? Or do you just go, oh, that's going to sell? That sounds like a headline. I'm going to grab that.
Man, that's a ridiculous thing. We do as much as we can, but I can tell you, if you're trying to get someone via Twitter online from the Middle East, you take a risk because there is no way. There is no way of checking. No way in the world.
What about someone who lives in Brighton, in Melbourne?
Well, that you probably could do.
Well, I'm that. Okay. I didn't get checked at all. I just got told to come on.
All right, Matt, look... we asked you, are you telling the truth or are you telling a lie?
I am, look, here's the thing. Let me ask my manager if I can, if I'm allowed to announce this yet. Yeah, is that all right? Yeah. All right.
I'm Matt Colwell, you're a fool, and if you're not, you're just a liar, and I'm sorry, that's an idiotic and stupid thing to do. If that's really you, you are one of the least intelligent people I've ever encountered. We gave you a chance. You threw it away. 1603, Don't forget word on the street for City Jeep, a $200 voucher from the Pancake Club.
Tom Elliott, isn't that the second time you've interviewed someone who's not the actual person you're meant to be interviewing? You have failed miserably once again, son. 3-0 body bag. Boom. You fucking idiot.
So yeah,
I still don't like him, mate.
Tom Elliott, you dopey cunt.
as has been said around here, we're not big fans of 360 around here, but he just gained some props. Because
Tom Elliott, you dopey prick.
You muppet. You fucking muppet.
I thought his dad was fucking dumb. Fucking hell. Jack Pig's ass Elliott is smarter than his son. You dickhead.
Yeah. So, that happened over the past week.
Well, there's two things that you can discuss from that. Is Australia racist?
I believe Australia does have definitely a lot of issues with racism lately.
I don't think it's enough to say that there's other places that are more racist.
Yeah, I don't know how Tom Elliott's saying fucking, there are all these other places that are more racist. Like, what are these places?
No, but alright, let's take that comment at face value. Other places are racist. Alright, that's cool.
Does that make it okay?
What's it matter? Does that still not make our country racist? It's a lot like when people say, "Oh well, thank heavens for our political climate. At least it's better than the US."
Yeah.
Well, who
Which
gives a
makes
fuck?
That okay.
How are we supposed to improve if we can't complain?
There was actually a big conversation I was going to have about politics tonight, but we've kind of gone past all that. We've gone over time already.
Yeah,
if
I think
we
this
do
is
have
the
a
discussion we're
designated
gonna have to
time. But so that's a discussion we'll have to have another time.
Which will be fun.
Yes, no doubt. But yeah, so do you think the Union Jack is a racist symbol?
It's not a non-racist symbol.
It's definitely not a non-racist symbol. Because apparently he also later compared
Well, you're half
the
Indian.
Union
Do you
Jack to a
consider
swastika.
you're half Indian?
Yeah.
Do you consider the Union Jack a racist symbol?
Fuck the Union Jack. I don't necessarily consider it a racist symbol. I guess I haven't thought about it as that, but it's a British symbol.
Yeah, and they basically
It's a
subjugated
symbol
a
of
whole
the-
continent
It's
of India.
a symbol of the British deciding, hey, let's just claim the world.
Jolly old claiming of the rest of the rest of the world.
I claim this land for Britain. It's like there's already people here.
They killed a lot of darkies.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like any darkie they could.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how much.
Oh, and there was a
people they
comment
kill.
Tom Elliott said about how if we're such a racist country, why do we let all these other races into our country? Excuse me?
What you mean, our multicultural country that we're
Excuse
supposed
me?
to?
For one, why do we let people into our... Why did the Abos let us in?
Hang on, let people in?
Because the thing is, maybe they let us in, but then we killed them for it.
But you do realise the other point to that is we actually take in less refugees than countries like Italy
absolutely.
and France.
And the other thing is, let them in
Yeah,
fucking...
we're bigger.
As if... I bet Tom Elliott would fucking let not a single person in if he could. But, I don't think he's the one making the decision.
Let's not set up a straw man. I do understand part
Also,
of what
what
he's saying,
privilege...
but
I love this privilege that people have. That, okay, you happened by absolute bloody fucking chance
pretty much.
to be born here, and you suddenly have
lucky
it
enough
upon
to be born.
yourself to be like, you get to make the decision who comes here.
Yeah. Well, who made them Judge, Judy, and Executioner? And yes, I meant that, Judge
Yeah.
Judy.
I've never understood that mentality.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't understand how you can be a son or daughter of immigrants and then say, We should not let these immigrants in
This
again.
is my land!
Even when it was about the bears, I thought it was about the immigrants.
It's like, it's not your fucking land. You didn't pay for the land. You didn't fucking work on the land to
Let me
it
just
fucking...
And mind you, if there's anyone sitting at home saying, yeah, well, I'm Australian, this is where I'm from. Are you white? Then you're not fucking Australian.
It's not where your ancestors are from, at least.
Where were you first from? And it really annoys me, this, because I've said it before, I'm from Italian background. If someone will never... If I ever say, I'm Australian to someone, no one will ever take that as a clear-cut answer.
Yeah. It's funny
It's
that
normally
about Aussies,
it's normally
like,
straight
they
up, oh
always
yeah,
ask
but
you,
where
like,
you originally from?
Yeah.
Australia. I was born here. Oh, but where's your family from?
It's funny, a friend of mine,
Where's your family from?
a friend of mine was...
Whitey, son.
A friend of mine was recently put on the spot with that kind of question, and like this guy asked her, "Oh, where are you from?" She's like, "Australia." He's like, "What's your background?" "Australian."
Fucking Aussie,
Well,
mate.
you look... Basically, when people ask that question, is basically what they're saying is, you look ethnic. Are you ethnic?
Oh no.
Yeah.
True. Imagine someone said that to you, like, "Hey, you look kind of ethnic.
It's basically
What's
what
your
they're saying.
background?" So I can poke fun at it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an Indian. Oh.
You look ethnic. What type of Indian? The type or the dot in the head type? Well, fuck you, man. Like,
True.
isn't that what the whole vision for Australia was? A big multicultural melting pot?
Yeah.
Whose vision was that?
Well, the original vision of Australia was we're supposed to bring everyone in.
No, good question. Whose vision?
I have no idea. We're supposed to be multicultural, correct?
I thought this was just
Supposed to.
prison.
We're supposed to.
Why are we supposed to?
Well, is that not part of our constitution?
Is it?
Isn't
Last
this
time I
just
heard
a
it
big
was.
fucking prison.
I'm actually asking the question. Is it?
I think it might be, yeah. We're
sure
supposed
it's
to
a
actually be
big
multicultural. Well, we're a secular country. We're a secular country with no stated ethnicity.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that not true?
Yeah, that's about right.
So, in actual fact, anyone who is here and is born here or has passed citizenship tests is, by all intents and purposes, Australian.
I just in general, why can't people just go where they want to go? Why can't people just, if they're born in a certain country and they want to live somewhere else?
Well, personally, and this has almost lost me friends from saying this, so I'm going to say it anyway. I don't believe that there should be nations.
That's an well.
I don't actually think.
See, I agree and I disagree.
I think jingoism.
Have you been
and
listening to that Imagine song by John Lennon?
The people.
Don't worry, the Stones Beatle was good. He knew what he was talking about, even though he married a weird Asian chick.
You could say that I'm a dreamer.
You're still trying to beat JP's fucking
But I'm
singing on this show fucking record. It's not going to happen.
Hey, I love that song.
But yeah, as I was saying, like,
Yeah.
why do we have these imaginary lines that we call nations? They're
imaginary lines.
They're imaginary lines. I was lucky enough to be born in Australia.
Well,
But
we don't really need.
Am
lines.
I really that different to
It's an
someone who
ocean.
was lucky enough to be born anywhere fucking else? And who the fuck cares that I was born on that imaginary line?
But like, I guess it goes with what I'm saying. Like, if someone wants to live somewhere other than where they're currently living, why do they even have to go through all this fucking paperwork? And it's just like, why can't I just say I want to live there?
And I think this has definitely come in even more in like the age of the internet, where you can actually just fucking, hey, I'm gonna talk to some motherfucker in some weird country, and guess what you find? Those motherfuckers like the same shit I like.
Sure.
Try to talk to some people in China, though.
Yeah, well, they can't really. That's kind of more of a Chinese thing.
Yes.
What happened to you, China? It used to be cool.
Yeah.
China's still cool.
Tisk.
But yeah, personally, I don't think there should be anything such as fucking nationality or national
It just
pride.
seems to cause problems.
Well, the whole point is, I live in this tribe, you live in that tribe. Isn't it kind of unevolved? Yes, I'm from this tribe.
Well, maybe we should devolve. Just identify by your clan.
For your clan.
And
my clan is Wu-Tang.
Like these nations. It's like Westgate Crew. That's it. That's our nationality.
Oh yeah, son.
It's your ethnicity.
Yeah.
You're ethnically Western.
True. I'm gonna start answering if people ask where I'm from. Westgate, son.
You're ethnically Western suburb. There you go.
That's right.
Pretty much.
Born and raised, motherfucker.
Well, it is kind of true. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, the whole nation and, like, vaguely empty lines. Mm-hmm. Why are we not pissed off with New South Welsh people because they're from a different imaginary line to us?
We have one living with us.
See, some people are just...
You fucking New South Welshmen.
Like, nah, for real, like, some people are just
chatty, he's mad.
simple-minded motherfuckers, man. Like,
Yeah.
They can't actually get past different colours and different races. Like, they're real fucking simple.
Treat people...
There's not really any helping folks like that that can't even get past that very simple step.
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit? Someone's different than you. Fucking whoopity fucking tuna.
Well, the weirdest thing is you end up finding out that they're fucking a lot more similar than they are different anyway.
Always.
Yeah.
What was that line of mine back in the day? We're all so damn similar, we're different, but
Yeah.
the only real difference between us is distance.
You hate someone because they're different, you'll quickly find out, like, they're fucking exactly like
Yeah.
you in so many ways.
Oh, and that's so often the case. Like, I know people, like, that seem to have particular dislikings for other people that are just so much like them.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I've noticed that.
That is kind of
Ted
a
knows who
Freudian.
I'm talking about.
That is kind of a Freudian concept. You actually do tend to dislike what you see in the parts of yourself you see in others. So a good example, if anyone knows wrestling, Paul Heyman.
Because no one
and
here knows wrestling.
Paul Heyman and Jim Cornette, they hate each other, but they're basically the same person.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. You do tend to hate people that are very similar to you, or you end up really liking those people. It's strange.
True.
Yeah. Like, it is an interesting part of our psyche.
Two sides of the same coin, as one.
But in saying that, is Australia racist?
Ted?
Oh yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Very racist.
But in
it's
saying
unanimous.
that, yes, there may be more racist countries. Like, for example, we don't throw bananas at sporting people.
Who did this?
In Italy and in parts of
Oh,
Europe.
but Balotelli.
No, Balotelli copped a couple of bananas, but I remember Dani Alves recently playing for some fucking team. I don't know soccer that well. They threw a banana at him.
Okay, so yeah, we're not the most racist country.
No, but it was pretty funny how they threw.
It's not really a competition.
But
you
have you heard what happened in that incident? I thought he diffused it perfectly.
I always thought America trumped everyone in the racial thing.
Let me finish the story, then we can talk about America. Right, Dani Alves diffused the situation perfectly. He picked up the banana, ate it, and then crossed it and set up a goal. Basically, at the end of the game, he interviewed and said, "Well, yeah, thank you for that banana. That gave me the strength to set up 2 more goals." Diffused the situation perfectly. Just saying. Talk about America? Yeah, America probably takes the fucking credit.
Well, see, America, there's 2 Americas. There's America, and then there's America.
America! Kind of the middle.
Yeah, drop the A.
America!
And, yeah.
Fuck yeah!
It's funny how that song was a parody.
Yet there's a bunch of
Yet
Americans
there's a bunch
who
of
thought it was
rednecks like, yeah, America,
fuck yeah!
Oh, dear Lord.
To save the
Irony
motherfucking day,
completely
yeah!
lost on them.
It was pretty hilarious, I gotta say.
Truly.
That was one of my favourite fucking parody songs because of that. But yeah, America's made an... what is it George Carlin said?
I personally preferred the Montage song.
Yeah,
We're gonna need a montage.
Even Rocky had a montage. But what was it George Carlin said about America? The only wars they've had with white people is when they tried to muscle in on their racket of killing brown people. That's our fucking job!
Oh dear. George Carlin was classic.
They love killing brown people over there. It's like, hey, you're Arab? Fuck you!
They're still doing that. Like,
We're the brown person in charge!
Yeah, I know.
Go figure.
I'm killing more brownies.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, he's a secret Muslim. He's killed more Muslims than anyone else! If he was a secret Muslim, someone would know!
Gotta love redneck logic.
He's a secret Muslim. Well, what about all the Muslims he killed? Well, he's still a secret Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It's all just to get them sympathy.
I don't care if he's a secret Muslim, by the way. That doesn't technically make him against not able to be a president.
It's just to get them sympathy.
Yeah.
It's all just media
Personally,
disinformation.
I'm kind of with Bill Maher on that. I think I think Barack Obama is actually more of an atheist than anyone else.
Yeah, Bill Maher.
Let's not get into
He's
Bill
hit
Maher.
and miss with me.
We'll be here forever.
We did. We were going to mention at one point. I don't know if we ever did.
What, the Ben Affleck,
Bill Maher, Ben
thing?
Affleck thing?
Yeah, we were going to mention that.
We were going to mention that
I
at some
am
point.
kind of more on the side of Bill Maher than I am on the side of Ben Affleck, but I understand both.
I'm on the side of, while Ben Affleck may not have been as correct as Bill Maher,
I think Ben Affleck was going on emotion.
Bill Maher's kind of a dick.
You figured this out when? Bill Maher's always been kind of a dick. But in saying that, he's a dick that's often right.
It's that. Yeah, well, see, it's that thing of fucking. Sometimes being right isn't always.
Yeah, isn't always right.
Right.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is that the way he said it was worse than what he said. Than what he said, or like how? Yeah. So basically, he said it by.
I mean, if always being right was fucking the thing, then eye for an eye is completely. It's like,
yeah,
fucker, he did wrong by me, so I'm in the right by doing this. Doesn't matter.
Was it the eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind?
Something like that.
Gandhi, man.
Gandhi was racist.
Gandhi, man.
You do realise that?
Gandhi apparently slept with 216.
I said that on one of these shows, didn't I? Yeah, Gandhi used to sleep with 2 naked 16-year-old girls. It was so he could practice restraint. Yeah!
I want to practice some of that restraint.
Indira wasn't fucking buying that shit.
On that note, maybe we should practice some restraint.
No restraints!
Get the fuck out of here and stop
No restraints!
the rambling for this night. Seeing as though I do actually have to work tomorrow.
No, you don't. You don't have to work very hard.
That's true. And I'm also a bit hungry, because I haven't eaten anything all day, so I
You're
think
not
I'm gonna need
hungry.
some food.
You're more Iceland than hungry.
And you didn't bring me any food this week.
Well, I'm not the food police.
I don't want you to be the food police.
I'm not the hamburger.
I want you to be the food ambulance.
Yeah.
I'm not the food ambulance.
I'll listen with food. Don't take it away.
Yeah. The food police will take the food away.
Whoa. That's, I forgot who I'm talking to. Police aren't exactly the number one in your
Not
list.
exactly my favourite people.
You like at least one.
1, 2, to be fair.
There you go, 2. That's more than I like.
Way more than I like.
There was a dude.
That's like 100% more than I like.
No, there was a guy I did a theatre course with who was pretty cool. We did a little collaborative project about Cheech and Chong.
As you do. Because, cops, they love their Cheech and Chong. All that. That legal drug use.
Yes. Anyway, I think we will fork out of here for this week.
It might be time. And I do say there's still British people throwing things at their computer speakers.
Yep. Sorry to all the
Those
British
terrible
people
accents.
for brutalising your accent. I'm sorry. Not really.
By God, that accent had a family!
And sorry to all the American people for brutalising your accent too.
He broke that accent in half! By God!
We'll brutalise some more accents next week. Maybe it'll be yours. But for now, I'm going to leave you with something which I intend to make a bit of a thing for the show.
In half.
If you enjoyed Neon Genesis Evangelion back in the day, every episode ended with a rendition of Fly Me to the Moon.
Are you flying to the moon?
That's
Bobby Womack?
Yes, I'm going to start with the Bobby Womack version.
You're a Bobby Womack.
Peace, peoples. Catch you next week. and all the things. Okay?
Tell him,
All
Bobby.
the things.
All the things.
Everything that's all.
Everything that is all. Alright.
Fly him, Bob.
Fly me. Fly me.